Hello students, now we are going to see the next experiment in staining of bacteria, that is the gram staining. So the aim of the practical is to study the given sample of organism using gram staining technique. So the requirements for this practical is cultures, that is nutrient broth culture of E. coli or Bacillus aureus or Staphylococcus aureus. Then stains required are crystal violet and safranie. Reagents required are grams iodine and ethyl alcohol. And apparatus required is staining tray, glass slide, Bunsen burner and inoculating loop. And equipment required is microscope. So gram staining, it was the first introduced by the Danish bacteriologist Hans Christian Gram, and this staining is used to differentiate between the gram positive and gram negative bacteria. So the principle of this staining is that the staining technique, it differentiates the bacteria based on the cell wall of bacteria. So the cell wall of gram positive bacteria contain the thick layer of peptidoglycan and less and the lipid content is less. So decolorization causes the gram positive cell wall to dehydrate and shrink, and which prevents the stain from exiting the cell. So the ethanol, it cannot remove the crystal violet iodine complex which is bound to the thick layer of peptidoglycan in case of the gram positive bacteria, and thus they appear blue or purple in color. While in case of gram negative bacteria, the lipid content is very high. So when alcohol is added, it causes the extraction of lipids, and because of which the lipid dissolve in the alcohol, and therefore the crystal violet iodine complex which is present into the cell, it get removed, and that is the reason why the gram negative bacteria get decolorized. And when you are again staining it with the counter stain safranin, the gram negative bacteria will take up the stain and they will appear red or pink in color. So as I have told you, the this staining, it is based on the cell wall of the bacteria. So it differentiates the bacteria based on the cell wall. So cell wall, it is a rigid structure which gives definite shape to the cell, which is situated between the capsule and the cytoplasmic membrane. It is about 10 to 20 nanometer in thickness, and it constitutes 20 to 30% of the dry weight of the cell, and it cannot be seen by direct microscopy, and also it does not get stained easily by different staining reagents. So when we will see the basic structure of cell wall of the bacteria, it contains this diaminopimelic acid, muramic acid and teichoic acid, and these substances are joined together to give a complex polymeric structure which is known as the peptidoglycan or murine or mucopeptide. So peptidoglycan, it is the major constituent in gram positive bacteria, whereas in gram negative bacterial cell wall, its presence is only 5 to 10%. So it consists of what? That is the backbone, which is composed of alternative two sugar derivatives, that is N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. Then a tetrapeptide side chain consisting of D and L amino acid with lysine attached to N-acetylmuramic acid, and a pentacycline bridge which connects the tetrapeptide side chain. Okay, so here you can see this is N-acetyl muramic acid and this is N-acetyl glucosamine. Then this is the tetrapeptide side chain, and this is known as the pentacycline bridge, which connects this tetrapeptide side chain. Okay, so backbone composed of two sugar derivatives, that is N-acetyl glucosamine. This is N-acetyl glucosamine and this is N-acetyl uramic acid. Then a tetrapeptide side chain which is attached to N-acetyl muramic acid, and these two tetrapeptide side chain, they are connected by a pentacyclic bridge. So this entire structure is known as the peptidoglycan. So what does this gram-positive cell wall consist of? So it consists of a thick layer of peptidoglycan. Then this is also rich in teichoic acids. So teichoic acids are connected to the peptidoglycan by covalent linkage or to the lipids of the plasma membrane. So when they are connected to the lipids of the plasma membrane, they are known as lipoteichoic acid. Teichoic acid also provide the strength to the cell wall, and they provide antigenicity, and it helps to identify the gram-positive bacteria. So here you can see the gram-positive bacteria. It consists of a thick layer of peptidoglycan. In gram-negative cell wall, it consists of many layers: plasma membrane, cell wall, outer membrane, and sometimes capsule. So it contains a lipoprotein layer which connects the peptidoglycan to the outer membrane. Then outer membrane contain these proteins, which is a target site for antibiotics. Periplasmic space, which is known as the space between the inner membrane and the outer membrane. And peptidoglycan layer is very thin, that is only 7 to 8 nanometers. And lipopolysaccharide, this layer consists of what? That is consists of lipid A, which is attached to core polysaccharide and O polysaccharide. So lipid A is embedded in the top layer. On death, the lipid A is released as an endotoxin. Core polysaccharide, it is attached to lipid A and provides structural stability to the cell. And O polysaccharide extends from the core polysaccharide and functions as antigen. Gram-negative cell wall, it does not contain the teichoic acid. So outermost layer, it contains these outer membrane proteins which are known as the porins, which help for the diffusion of small molecules. So they form transmembrane pores and serve as diffusion channels for small molecules. So this is the structure of the gram-negative bacteria. Here you can see this is known as the outer membrane and this is known as the inner membrane. In between the two, you have this periplasmic space, and in this periplasmic space, you have a very small layer or thin layer of the peptidoglycan. Then you can see here, these are the lipopolysaccharides, And these are the porins which act as a transmembrane pores which allow for the diffusion of small molecules. So this part is known as the core polysaccharide, and this is known as the O polysaccharide, which is responsible for the identification of the gram-negative bacteria, and lipid A is present here in the bottom, which is embedded in the lipid membrane. So here you can see the lipid content is very high in case of the gram-negative bacteria, while in case of gram-positive bacteria, the lipid content was very less. Okay. So due to difference in the lipid content, it is very easy to differentiate using the gram staining technique. So here you can see the difference. Here the peptidoglycan layer is very thick, this is very less. Then this is the outer membrane which consists of the lipoprotein layer. Okay. Then this is lipid A and this is O antigen. While the peptidoglycan layer is very thin, the lipid content is very high in gram-negative bacteria, while in case of gram-positive bacteria, the peptidoglycan layer is very thick. Okay, so likewise you can differentiate between the two, and due to difference in the lipid content, it is very easy to differentiate using gram staining technique. So this is the difference between the gram positive and gram negative bacteria. That is the thickness. In gram positive bacteria, the cell wall is thick, while in case of gram negative, it is thin. Peptidoglycan content is 50 to 90% in gram positive. In gram negative, it is 5 to 10%. Teichoic acid is present in gram positive and it is absent in gram negative. Polysaccharide is present in gram positive, it is absent. Lipids are less or absent in gram positive, it is more in gram negative. Then the cell wall is simple in gram positive, it is complex in gram negative. Then outer membrane and periplasmic space is absent in gram positive while it is present in gram negative. Then it is easily destroyed by lysozyme in gram positive bacteria, and gram negative bacteria are resistant to the effect of lysozyme. Then there has gram positive bacteria have slight susceptibility to streptomycin and tetracycline, while gram negative they have marked susceptibility. Then susceptibility to penicillin and sulfonamides is marked in gram positive, while in gram negative it is much less. So examples of gram positive bacteria include Bacillus anthracis, Clostridium tetani, Staphylococcus aureus, Corynebacterium diphtheria. An example of gram negative bacteria include E. coli, Salmonella typhi, Vibrio cholerae, and Haemophilus influenza. So the reagents used in gram staining, that is the crystal violet, which is the primary stain. Then is the grams iodine, the mordant. You can also prepare the mordant with this formula, that is iodine crystal 1 gram, potassium iodide 2 gram, and distilled water 100 ml. Then a decolorizer which is made up of acetone or alcohol, or you can only use alcohol 95%, that can also act as a decolorizer, and the counter stain used is safranin. So how to memorize this? That is come in and stain, that is crystal violet, then you have to add iodine, then you have to add alcohol, and then safranin. So what is the role of different reagents used? First of all is the crystal violet, that is it stain all the cells deep violet in color. Then is the mordant, that is the grams iodine. So it is defined as any substance which serves to fix the stain to the bacterial stain, and it forms crystal violet iodine magnesium ribonucleate complex in gram positive bacteria, while in gram negative bacteria it forms crystal violet iodine complex only. Then comes the major differentiating step, that is the decolorizing agent, ethyl alcohol 95% or acetone alcohol. So cell wall of gram positive bacteria, as discussed earlier, it contains the less lipid. So when you are adding the alcohol, it causes cell dehydration of the cell wall, which leads to shrinkage of the cell wall in gram positive bacteria, and thus it decreases the permeability. Therefore, the crystal violet iodine magnesium ribonucleate complex is retained in the cell, and gram positive bacteria appears violet in color even after decolorization. In gram negative cell, the decolorizing agent causes the extraction of lipid from the cell wall, and therefore the crystal violet iodine complex is extracted and the cell get decolorized. So as gram negative bacteria, they contain more lipid in their cell wall, and therefore after addition of alcohol the lipid get extracted or dissolved, and because of which this crystal violet iodine complex get extracted and the cells get decolorized. Then comes the counter stain, that is after addition of the counter stain only the cells which are decolorized will get stained, that is the gram negative bacteria will get stained red. Thus gram negative bacteria absorb the stain and appear red or pink in color, while gram positive bacteria will retain their purple color. So what is the procedure? First of all, you have to prepare the bacterial smear and heat fix it. Then stain the cells with basic stain, that is the crystal violet. Treat it with iodine potassium mixture, that is the grams iodine. Wash the slide with water. All bacteria will appear dark violet or purple in color. Then wash it with ethanol. Then dark violet bacteria retain the stain, or color bacteria will get decolorized. Then treat it with safranin. You will get pink color, or the bacteria will remain as it is in violet color. So when you will observe it under the microscope, after the first step, the bacteria will appear violet in color. Then after iodine treatment, they will show purple color. After decolorization, the gram positive will retain their color and gram negative will appear decolorized. And when you will counter stain it, the gram positive bacteria, as I have told you, they will retain their color, and gram negative bacteria will appear pink in color. So we'll see the procedure how to perform the staining. Hello dear students, today we are going to study the given sample of microorganism by gram staining technique. So gram staining technique, it is a differential staining technique, that is it is used to distinguish the bacteria, that is it differentiates the bacteria into two categories, that is gram positive and gram negative bacteria. It was first discovered by scientist Hans Christian Gram in 1884, and that is the reason why the name is given as gram staining technique. Now we will see the procedure. So what is the procedure?
Take a clean glass slide. Prepare the bacterial smear with the help of heat fixation technique and nitrile wire loop. After that, after preparation of bacterial smear, you have to add the primary stain, that is the crystal violet, and allow it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. After 1 to 2 minutes, during this duration, the crystal violet will react and stain all the cells, whether it is gram positive or gram negative, into the violet color. After this, you have to wash it with water, and then you have to add the mordant, which is known as the Gram's iodine. Now this mordant, when it is allowed to react with the bacterial smear, it will form crystal violet iodine complex in both the cells, whether it is gram positive or gram negative. So Gram's iodine will help you to fix the stain to the bacteria. After this, again wash it with water and add the decolorizer, that is the 95% ethyl alcohol or ethanol, or you can add acetone alcohol also. Now this step, it is the most differentiating step, because if this step is performed properly, then you can easily differentiate the given sample of microorganism, whether it is gram positive or gram negative, or it contains both gram positive and gram negative. So this step should be performed very properly, and if decolorization is not done properly, then it will cause errors while determining the bacteria. So after decolorizer is added, two things takes place, as I have already explained. In gram positive bacteria, it causes the dehydration of the cell wall, and after dehydration, the permeability of the cell wall decreases. And due to decrease in the permeability, the crystal violet complex which is present in this gram positive bacteria, it does not come out. So that is the reason why in gram positive bacteria, when you are adding the decolorizer, it will not decolorize the gram positive cells. While in case of gram negative cells, it causes the extraction of lipids because the gram negative bacteria cell wall contains large amount of lipids. So whenever you are adding this alcohol, it will cause the extraction of membrane lipids which are present in the cell wall of the gram negative bacteria, and because of this, the permeability increases in case of gram negative bacteria, and thus after addition of decolorizer, the gram negative bacteria, they get decolorized. Okay, so decolorizer is the major agent which is required in the gram staining or any differential staining. If this step is not performed properly, it will not be possible to identify the bacteria. After addition of decolorizer, again wash it with water and then add the counter stain, that is the safranin. So what will happen when I will add the safranin? The decolorized cells, that is if the sample contains gram negative bacteria, they will take up this counter stain. Okay. But if my sample only contains gram positive bacteria, then in that case that gram positive cells will not take up this counter stain. Okay. So after decolorizer, add the counter stain, again wash it with water and then air dry the smear and observe it under the microscope using 100x oil immersion objective. So when you will observe it under the microscope, you can get the three results. Either you will get the pink bacteria, or you will get the violet colored bacteria, or the combination of both. Okay, so depending on the sample, three results will be obtained. So this was all about how to perform the gram staining. Now we will practically perform it so that you will come to know how to perform the experiment. Okay students, now we are going to perform the practical of gram staining. So for this we require the broth culture of any bacteria. So here I have taken the broth culture of E. coli. Then we require the crystal violet. Then we require the counter stain safrani, alcohol, nichrome wire loop, pair of tongues, glass slide and cover sleeve, and water to wash the smear. In addition to this, we require the staining tray. So let's start the practical. Now, to prepare the bacterial smear, first I will sterilize this nichrome wire loop. So as discussed in the previous video, I will make it red hot. Then I will take this culture tube, flame the mouth of the culture tube, and then I will place this nichrome wire loop inside the culture medium. Again I will flame it and apply the cotton. So now I am placing it here. I have taken this clean glass slide and I will smear this bacterial culture on the surface of this glass slide. So the smear is ready. Now I will again sterilize this nichrome wire loop and keep it aside. Now the next step is heat fixation, that is the fixation of the sphere with the help of heat. So I will hold this glass slide with the help of a pair of tongues and I will just move it above the flame of the burner. Keep in mind, you should not insert this slide into the burner, otherwise the bacteria will die. So just move it above the flame, not into the flame, until you get the dry smear. So now here you can see the smear is ready. Now we will perform the staining technique. Now we will stain this smear with the primary stain, that is the crystal violet. So I will dropwise add the crystal violet onto the smear, and I will allow it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. I will just stain out the excess of the crystal violet and now I will allow it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. After 1 to 2 minutes, I will wash this smear with water. Now complete washing have been done with water. Now I will add the second reagent, that is this grams iodine. Now I am adding the grams iodine. Grams iodine, as I have told you, it acts as a mordant and it will help you to fix the stain to the bacteria. So just flood the smear with grams iodine and allow it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. So likewise here you can see I have added the grams iodine. Now I will keep it to react for 1 to. Now after 1 to 2 minutes after addition of the grams iodine, again you have to wash this smear with water to remove the excess of the grams iodine which may be present on the slide. Gently you have to wash it. Now I am taking this 95% alcohol which will act as a decolorizer, and this step will play a major role in differential staining, that is the gram staining. So we'll add it. As you can see, alcohol, it is causing the decolorization of these sample. This step you have to perform very properly, otherwise you will not get the expected result, or you will get the result but they will be of errors. So there is a possibility that if the decolorization is not properly done, you will get bacteria which are partly colored by crystal violet and partly they are colored by safranin. So that is the reason why decolorization step, it should be performed very properly. Now proper decolorization have been done. Now again I will wash this with water. To remove the excess alcohol. Excessive decolorization should be avoided. Now after addition by water, if you see any residues, immediately wash it with water. Now after this, I will add the counter stain, that is the safranin. So dropwise you have to add. Now I am adding this safranin dropwise. So that the gram negative bacteria, if they are present, they will get stained. So just allow it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. So I will, and now allow this to react for 1 to 2 minutes. Now we have allowed it to react for 1 to 2 minutes. Now I will wash this with water. So water will remove the excess stain which is present on the slide. Now you have seen that the excess of the stain have been allowed or have been removed by water. So now you have to air dry this slide. Now this slide is completely dried, air dried. Now we will observe it under the microscope using 100x oil immersion objective. So I will just place this slide under the microscope and then place a drop of oil, and then I will observe it under the microscope.
So during observation, you can get two results. That is, the gram positive bacteria will appear purple in color, or you will get gram negative bacteria that may appear pink in color. Or one more result can be obtained, that if the given sample contains the mixture of gram positive and gram negative bacteria, then you will get both the color, that is the purple as well as the pink color. So as we have used E. coli, and E. coli being gram negative bacteria, pink colored bacteria are observed under the microscope. So under observations, you have to draw this diagram showing the pink colored bacteria, and in here you have to write that pink colored bacteria were observed. So result will be the given sample of microorganism was identified using gram staining technique, and the given sample contains the gram negative bacteria since we have used the E. coli sample. So question bank for this practical, that is, what are the possible questions that can be asked in synopsis and viva. So very first is, what is the principle of gram staining? What is mordant? Give examples of gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Differentiate between gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Explain the structure of cell wall. What are the roles of reagents used in gram staining? So this was all about the gram staining. Thank you students for listening.